Okay, so now that we have some data from the app we were interested in, we can go ahead and try to represent that in an actual Python program. Now, if you write your notes like this, some of this might be stuff that you can kind of just copy paste, but you don't have to write your notes like this. You can just kind of take notes as you're looking at the app and then bring them into the code later. So let's go ahead and make a new REPL, Python, and I'll say my app data model Dota 2. All right, and I'll create the REPL. Okay, so just a a real quick review of what we're looking at here, and I'll give this screen a little more room. Wrap's already on. Perfect. Okay, so over here on the left, I've got my main file where I'm going to write the Python code right here. And over here, I've got my shell. This is going to show me the... Oh, can you guys see my cursor? That's weird. It's disappearing on me. Okay, so my cursor's right there. But that's the shell over on the right. Okay, that's where my output's going to appear. And I know that's kind of small right now, but when I actually have output, I'll show that to you. Okay, so let's go ahead and get cracking here. This is my Dota 2 app modeling program. And I'm just going to start writing my variables. Okay, and remember that these are integers, right? These are integers right here because they don't have any precision. They don't have any decimal points, and this is a string. It's surrounded by quotes. I can also use single quotes for this, but I'll show you that at the end. So my hero's attack speed was 176. Hero's max health is 620. Hero's current health is 301. Hero health percentage. Now I'm going to do a little math. So I'll say that that is the current health. And notice that when I start to type this into Replit, I get this little drop down. And this is just called code completion or code intelligence. If this isn't happening for you, then what I would do is I would click on my little settings button over here, open up my settings, and then if I go down to the bottom, there's a little thing called code intelligence. I can turn it on or off. And this also has like font size, theme, layout, and all that kind of stuff too. Okay, back to the code. So I'll say hero current health divided by hero max health. That will give me the percentage, right? And then I'm going to say item 1, and in this case I can use single quotes if I want to. And there we have it. So now I've got all my data represented. I can run this code, and you'll notice that nothing actually shows up over here in the shell, okay? But if I want to check what's in a particular variable, I can do that. Okay, so I'm zooming in over here on my shell so you can see what I'm typing. If I type in radiant team score, it's going to show me that that's 0. If I type in type radiant team score, that'll tell me that's an int, an integer. Now, if I say, what is the hero health percentage? Well, that is 48, or it's about 49%. Let's see. Oh yeah, let's do type hero health percentage. That tells me it's a float. It's a floating point number or a decimal number. So now that I've got all of this stuff, I have the other requirement of the project that I want to have some print statements which tell me something about the data or just show me the data in some interesting way. So let's check that out. Okay, back on our main screen, we're going to add some print statements that show something interesting about the data we found. Or at least show the data in an interesting way, I should say. So the first thing we'll do is we'll say Dota 2 data. And you don't have to do this. Like, however you want to print this out and represent it is up to you, okay? I'm just doing what I think is simple and easy so you guys can see this. If you want to get crazy with it and try some really cool stuff, please do. That's what this class is all about. Okay, so we'll say my hero and I'll use concatenation, which we're going to learn about. My hero is hero name. That's going to show me Juggernaut. And I'll run this real quick so you can see it. You probably won't be able to see this little text that shows up over here, but we'll zoom in on that in a second. Okay, and then I'll say something like current health percentage. And then I'll say plus concatenation, right? Need a little colon there to make it look right. I'll do hero health percentage. Now when I run this code, I'm actually going to get an error whenever it runs. All right, let's take a look at this error. Okay, so something that's going to happen to you all the time when you're writing code is you're going to encounter different errors. That's okay. It's a really important part of the learning process for you to encounter these errors and learn how to deal with them. In this case, we want to read the bottom line of the error to get some idea of what's going on. So what it says is we've got a type error. And a type error has to deal with data types, or it has to do with data types. So in this case, it's saying we can only concatenate a str, or a string, not a float, to another string. And basically what that means is we've got a string, right? Current health percentage, that's a string because it's between quotes, and we're trying to print that out in addition to showing the hero health percentage, but I cannot concatenate or use this plus sign in between those. It's breaking it. So in order to fix that, I need to either convert the hero health percentage to a string, or print the hero health percentage on a separate line as its own thing. So let's convert it to a string and see what happens. So back to my code, all I've got to do to convert any value to a specific type of value or data type is I use that data type's name, in this case str for string. I put some parentheses here. I put parentheses here. Okay, so it should look like this. I've got my print statements parentheses, the opening and closing parentheses of the print statement, and I've got the opening and closing parentheses of the string function, which converts the value, hero health percentage, into a string. So I run this again, and you'll see that I get normal output. There you go. All right, so his current health percentage is this crazy long number. That's okay if that's the way it looks right now for you. I don't want to go too into detail on this video. There's a pretty easy way to fix that, a number of different ways, but we'll just save that for when we start to look more closely at how we combine strings and numbers and the different ways we can represent strings with Python. So this is an example of the app modeling program. This is ultimately what I expect you to do with the app that you choose, and I really look forward to seeing what you guys come up with. Just don't forget that in order to meet all the requirements, you need 10 variables, you need 3 different data types represented, and you need print statements that represent that data in some way.